All right. So, a couple of things. One I wasn't going to talk about. One I was going to talk about, but just having a conversation with Melinda before we kind of went live, before we were recording. She's had a dislocated elbow, and it's been in a cast, and everything's got a bit stuck. She's got some exercises from the physio, but I just want to give you some general advice from a kind of neurological perspective of how our body works and what we can do if we have joint pains. Okay, just joint pains kind of really in general. So in this case, it's the elbow. So we always want to look at the joints above and below the injury. Okay, so at the moment, very stiff through the arm for her. Okay, so what I've suggested alongside the physio exercise she already got is big movements of the shoulder. Okay, and the elbow is bending, but it's just not got as great a movement as possible. So big, slow, controlled movements of the joint above, and you can also do big, slow, controlled joint movements of the joint below. In this case, the wrist. But if it's your knee, that would be your hip and your ankle. If it's your ankle, it would be the toes and the knee. If it's your hip, it would be more your spine and your knee. So always look at the joints above and below. Okay. You can also get a response from your body, neurologically speaking, by doing the same things with the uninjured side. So in this case, it's the right elbow. You can do the same exercises on the left side. Okay, so if it's a shoulder, now I want to get my shoulder moving. Okay, it's a bit discoordinated on my left right now. Okay, so work the left the same as you do the right. Okay, and neurologically, that will have a positive impact on the other side of your body. Yeah, this is something, again, I've talked about in the past. Our joints are kind of couples. They're coupled together. Okay, so the top of my spine couples with my lower spine. My shoulders are married up with my hips. My elbows are married up with my knees, and my wrists are married up with my ankles. So if I've got an elbow injury, I might also want to do movements with my friendly joints. Okay, so elbow, knee. Okay, so I want to do big knee rotations. Okay, bending and stretching the muscles of the upper and lower leg. That again should, and that generally on the same side as the injury. So right elbow, right knee. Okay, but it can also be opposite side. Okay, this does add up in terms of time if you're doing all of these things. They don't take that long. Okay, so it's 20 seconds on kind of each thing. So if I just make a quick treatment program for Melinda, okay, with dislocated elbow pain, all these muscles up in the upper arm are really, really stiff, okay, which has subsequently affected kind of nerves in the hand to some extent and wrist pain. So it would be primarily shoulder on the injured side, okay, with bending and straightening within discomfort, okay. We don't want to go to pain, but discomfort is fine. Then go across to the other side, do the same exercise or exercises with the other side. I would then move on to the injured side knee. Okay, so injured elbow, but uninjured knee. Okay, and rotations and bending, extending, and maybe a bit of stretching for the right leg. You can also do the left, okay, but maybe just left. Let's leave it at that. Okay, if you feel like you want to try the left and see if you get some good results, try the left. So if you've got injuries like this, okay, so relatively major joint pain, joint injuries, try and think about the body in that way. Okay, joints above, joints below, get them moving. Okay, and as big kind of circular or figure of 8 smooth movements as you can. Okay, they might be a bit juddery in places, and so what can happen is, let's say it's my wrist I'm moving, and it might kind of slip past an area, and then it might slip past another area, and it's not a smooth circle. It like kind of squares a bit off of the circle, so it will rotate and it'll go, okay, it's not in full control, and then it's not in full control, and then not in full control again. Hey, but that's okay because it will improve. Okay, so don't worry about it if your joints feel like that, or they maybe get a little bit stuck in a point, because you can just adjust your body a little bit and move past the stuck bit. Okay, and eventually, because you keep going and doing it, that stuck bit will get the kind of the bit that it slips. Okay, the bit where you lose control over that joint movement kind of gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you have full control over that joint again. So moving your joints in as many ways as possible. So if it's a shoulder, I want to get as nice big kind of shoulder circles in both directions. I want to get shoulder circles. I want to get other joints involved. I can get my spine going by moving as I do other things. Okay. Again, sitting down, standing up, lying down, they're all, it depends on what your injury is as to what body position you want to be in. But those are just some general tips for overcoming joint pains. Okay. Oddly, well, not oddly, the other thing I'm going to talk about today would also help. But it's again, it's not specific to joint pain. This is just for life. You might have seen, a couple of you in the group have kind of seen and liked this post on Facebook. Anyway, let me just remind myself of what I exactly said. It's again, stuff I've been talking about for the last few weeks. Okay. And I'll just quote what I put on Facebook. Can you imagine a life without pain, pills, supplements, and funky diets? No. Work on that. Literally imagining, if you can't see it, how likely will it be that you'll achieve it? So if we look at, say, I don't know, Olympic athletes, high performing sports people, really obvious examples are high jumpers, long jumpers, kind of field event athletes. Okay? It's very obvious what they're doing before they go on their run up. They're standing at their start point on their run up, and they'll often be there with their eyes closed, maybe open, and you'll see them run, kind of literally running in their mind and jumping. Okay, so high jumpers, you'll see them kind of do this in their mind or with their body before their run up. Okay, so they're practicing in their head success. Okay, practicing success over and over and over and over again until it becomes a habit, until it becomes natural. Okay. We haven't, most of us, the general population, haven't trained to see success in our mind. We haven't practiced it often enough, okay? Because we look at our daily life and go, well, that was a failure. That was a failure. I don't like how I look in the mirror. My money, you know, my bank account hasn't got enough money in it. I'm struggling to pay my bills. Stress, 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 stress. Okay, and we're just looking at all the bad. Okay, so we practice in the bad over and over and over again. But we don't give ourselves time to practice our dream life. Okay. Okay. Practice having perfect health. Practice having joints that move really smoothly and freely, and having all your muscles working. Okay, in your mind. Okay. So if I come back to like Melinda's situation with the elbow. Okay. Maybe there's an exercise or a stretch that at the moment she can't do, but she could do before. Okay. In her mind, it's practice doing that exercise over and over and over again. Maybe it's a push-up and you're just seeing yourself coming all the way up, arms locked, okay, no pain, okay, I'm strong, okay, and I'm seeing myself, okay, and I would try and see myself doing the action through my own eyes. So if I was doing a push-up through my own eyes, what would I see? I'd see my hands on the floor, I'd see my body coming down to the floor and then coming back up away from the floor, okay. I wouldn't necessarily picture myself like as a personal trainer watching someone do push-ups, okay, although that might be another way of doing it, but I want to see it from a personal perspective, okay, through my own eyes. What am I seeing? What am I feeling? Not, you know, as if it's a CCTV camera or someone watching me do it. Okay, so have a little think about, you know, what your goals are. Okay, what your dream life, your dream body, your dream lifestyle, what is that like? Okay, and see it. Okay, so it might take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years for it all to happen, but you'll see it come in dribs and drabs. And that will then give you confidence to do a bit more and just to keep sticking with it. And that's the other thing. Okay, if you can't see yourself achieving the goal that you set yourself in your mind, how motivated do you think you will remain to continue doing the things that will get you there? Okay, so if someone's trying to lose weight, if you can't see yourself as this person who is 5 kilos, 10 kilos, however much lighter, you can't see yourself in that bikini or in that swimsuit on holiday, or you can't see yourself buying size 10 or 12 or whatever size clothing it is that you would want to buy. If you cannot see that, going into a high-end shop, because you've got loads of money in your dream world, a high-end shop, and buying a dress for 300 quid that you're only going to wear once for some sort of gala event, and you go to gala events all the time in your mind, or you go into the horse racing or some sort of massive sailing event, because these are the people you're hanging around with now. You're going to the polo, in Windsor, or you go your Centre Court, Wimbledon, and you're going there every year, and you're there for the final and all this kind of stuff. You're going into a high-end shop and you're buying a size whatever dress or suit or clothing. You're buying a really fancy hat. You're wearing lovely gold jewelry or whatever kind of jewelry befits your tastes. If you cannot see that, what are the chances that you're going to get to the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week, however many times you choose to go? What are the chances that you're going to maintain calories? Let's say calories is a problem. What are the chances of you making healthier choices over and above easy, convenient choices? If you've seen it in your mind and you start believing that it's real and it's true and it's going to happen, and you know it, that it's going to happen, you're going to be more consistent. If you cannot see it, if you haven't practiced it in your mind, you're going to get more of the same. You're going to go to the gym for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. You're going to stick to a diet for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then it's all going to fall apart again. So it's a case of practice, practice, practice. Rehearse, mentally rehearse. How's my day? How successful am I? And at the end of the day, if it's not, as successful as you wanted it to be, replay it again with success. So that thing that went wrong at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, tweak it so that it went well in your mind. And then everything you did went well that day. We could talk about gratitude and things like that, and appreciating, what really happened and how it's, nothing is ever bad in the universe. There is no good and bad. It's just events, things that are steering us in one direction or the other. But there's literally no harm in practicing in your mind a perfect body, a perfect life, a perfect set of circumstances about every aspect of your life. If I think about my life, I'm only 38 right now. I've still got a long way to go. But what I imagined, this is what I remember. I imagined that I would be married before I was 30. I got married at 28, I think, 28, 29, around about there. Got married before I was 30. I imagined myself having kids. I didn't specify boy or girl. I didn't really care. Kids. I imagined myself having a house before I was 30. I bought my house when I was 20, was it 2013? I was 28. But what I never imagined is having a successful business. I maybe imagined having a business. I didn't imagine a successful business. I didn't imagine that I would be doing this. I had no idea. I didn't imagine, upgrading my house or moving out. I didn't imagine first-class travel. I didn't imagine, things that you could want. But I also have imagined my body not changing practically for the last 20 years. It's varied a little bit, but it hasn't really changed at all. Granted, I don't have the same challenges as women with menopause and hormones changing and childbirth in a lot of cases, which adds extra stresses to the body. But I kind of pride myself on my body physically looks like it did roughly when I was about 18, 19. Okay. I'm probably a bit bigger and stronger, but not drastically. Okay. But I'm also less good at running, but I'm practically the same as I was then. Okay. But I've seen that in my mind. I can see myself at 80 years old still looking, I mean, probably a bit looser skin, but still looking practically the same as I do now. I can see myself at 80 doing that. I can see myself at 80 crawling around on the floor looking after grandkids, okay, or great grandkids potentially. Okay, probably not great grandkids, but grandkids certainly. You know, in my 60s and 70s, okay, I'm looking after them, and I can see that, okay, and I can see my body shape. I can see what I'm wearing. I can kind of feel it. I also haven't imagined living in a 5-bedroom, wonderful surroundings in an expensive city. I haven't imagined myself living in a £2 million house. So why not? Okay, because all the other things that I was consistent at imagining happened without effort. They just happened. Okay, so you might think about that in your life. I mean, and equally, if you know someone's anxious, you know, what are they imagining all the time? Bad things happening, okay, or things not going well. If someone's anxious, that's what they're imagining. Okay, well, that tends to be what happens. So the imagination process works for the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Okay, so why not make intentional time to imagine the best? Because when was the last time you imagined the best thing working out? Perhaps with the exception of the last couple of weeks when I've been talking about it. Okay. Imagine the best. Imagine the best relationships with your partners, with your kids, with yourself. Okay. Imagine the best health that you could possibly have. Okay. Imagine the best body that you could possibly have. Imagine the best financial situation you could possibly have. Imagine the best job. Imagine the best colleagues. Imagine the best results for other people. Okay. So, you know, let's say it's your kids and they really want good GCSEs or A levels or really good jobs. See them in your mind getting a massive promotion and earning, going from 30 grand a year to 60 grand a year. Okay, so wow, well done. You've got an amazing job. Let's go out and celebrate. Okay. You see them getting a handshake. Okay, this time maybe you are the CCTV when you're thinking about somebody else. Okay, you're in the corner of the room. Okay, oh yeah, I heard your boss give you this new massive promotion or this big bonus. Okay, well done. That's amazing. Let's go out for dinner. Let's celebrate. Let's get the champagne out. Let's celebrate somehow. Okay, and you see, you don't necessarily see the result. You see an hour, a week, a month after the result. Okay, and how life has changed. Okay, cool. I think that's it. Yeah, just think, it's like, how consistent are you going to be if you think you're going to fail? Because that's what's happened before. You're not even going to start. Okay, you'll be consistent for a week, 2 weeks, end. Okay, but if you see yourself succeeding, you will put the effort in. Okay, you will be consistent, much more likely to be consistent anyway, or you will find an easier solution so that you don't have to be consistent, or your body will just change its chemical makeup and do the work for you. Which is really what it's all about. Your body, your brain will just create different chemicals, different hormones, different neurotransmitters to match the pictures that you are creating in your mind. Okay. So you're literally rewiring your brain by imagining goodness, okay? Happy results. Okay. I think I said it on either Monday or last Friday. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. If you were in an imagining state of happy, good things, success, your body will create all of the neurotransmitters, all of the hormones, all of the chemicals that equate to those feelings. If you see your body doing cartwheels and handstands and push-ups and lifting weights, your body, your joints will start getting the message, this is how we should move. This is how we're supposed to move. This is what we're doing. Okay, I do have stability in my shoulder and my elbow and my wrist. Okay, I can do push-ups. Okay, I can do 5 push-ups. I can do 10 push-ups. Okay, strong. Okay, the messages will get there. Okay, the joints will change. Okay, it might take a little bit of time. It might take, exercise to get that kind of stuff, to build up that strength, but your body will allow you to do it because it will know there's no fear here. Okay, because a lot of the things that so I've had this with clients I was PTing in the past. Okay, you could see from their body that they were physically strong enough to do the exercise, but their body is like this, shaking away, pressing like a 5 kilo weight. This guy is pretty strong. Okay, he was in his 20s, and you could see muscle size on him. Stick a couple of 7.5 kilo weights in his hand, and he can't shoulder press them. He should have, like, from the size of him, he should have easily been able to do 15s for reps. Okay, well, not just 1 or 2, should have been like 8 or 10. But 7.5, and you're like, I can't do it. Okay, his body was so full of fear that he couldn't lift this minuscule weight. Okay, for him, I mean, I'm not expecting everyone to be able to just smash out 7.5 kilo shoulder presses, but he should have been able to. Okay, because I guess he couldn't see. This is way before I started learning any of this stuff. Right? He couldn't see. For some reason, his body was in a kind of a fear state, sheer panic, really, had no stability. And with no stability comes no strength. Okay? So yeah, use your creative power of your mind to create a life you want. Okay, not the life you have, or not the life, even though your life you have is perfectly okay. Okay, but and certainly not the one that you fear that you might get. Okay, which is where we either imagine a life kind of basically being the same or worse. Okay, because that's what we're scared of. We're scared of it getting worse. Okay, so we do the things to avoid getting it worse. We don't do the things to make it better. It starts with practice, building a new set of neural pathways for success. Cool. I think I've batted on about that enough. I'm going to get on to treatment. Okay.